Hello, my dear students. Exams are just around the corner. I know. And some chapters can feel a bit tricky. But don't you worry. Today, we are going to make friends with quadratic equations. Together, we'll make this a chapter where you can score full marks.
Namaste, bacho. It's me, your tutor, here to make maths super simple for you. So just relax, give me your attention for a few minutes, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll feel so much more confident. Really, maths can be your friend. Chalo, let's begin.
Okay, so first things first, before we jump into all the solving and the formulas, we need to ask the most important question. What exactly is a quadratic equation? Let's make sure we get this basic idea perfectly right, okay? A strong foundation is everything.
Now, look closely. This is the heart of the whole chapter. The standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. But the most important rule, the real secret, is that a can never, ever be 0. Why? Just think about it. If a is 0, that x squared term, our main hero, just vanishes. And if there's no x squared, it's not a quadratic equation anymore. Simple as that. And this makes it crystal clear. Look at the left side. X squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. See that x squared? That's our guy. So yes, it's a quadratic equation. Now look to the right. X plus 12 equals 0. Where is the x squared term? It's missing. So this is not a quadratic equation. That's the first thing you should always check. All right, let's move on to something I know many of you get a little nervous about. Word problems. But listen to me, don't be scared. They are just stories, simple stories. And our job is to be detectives and translate them from English into the language of maths. It's actually kind of fun. So, story time. Imagine there's this small cottage industry, and they make cute little toys. Now, the cost of making just one toy is 55 rupees minus the number of toys they make in a day. A bit of a strange rule, but okay. One day, the total cost for all the toys was 750 rupees. So, what's our mission? To turn this story into a proper equation. And here's how we crack the code step by step. First, we don't know the number of toys, so let's just call it x. Simple. Step 2. The cost for each toy is 55 minus x, right? The story told us that. So the total cost must be the number of toys times the cost per toy, which means x into 55 minus x equals 750. A little bit of multiplication and moving things around, and ta-da, we get x squared minus 55x plus 750 equals 0. See? You just translated a story into maths. Great. So now that we know how to build these equations, it's time to learn how to solve them. And our first method is probably an old friend of yours from earlier classes. It's factorization, or as we all call it, splitting the middle term. Now, what are we trying to find? We're looking for the roots. Roots is just a fancy word for the values of x that are the correct answer to our puzzle. And splitting that middle term is a fantastic way to find them. Already, trust me, it's very, very simple once you get the hang of it. Let's try one. We have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, we need to split the middle guy, minus 5x. We split it into minus 2x and minus 3x. Why? Because they add up to minus 5x and they multiply to give the same as 2x squared into 3. Perfect. Now we just take out the common factors and look, we get these two beautiful brackets, 2x minus 3 and x minus 1. This means one of them must be 0. And from that, we get our answers. X is either 3 by 2 or x is 1. Shabash, you did it. You found the roots.
But what if the numbers are big and messy? What if you're trying to split the middle term and it's just not working? Do you panic? Do you give up? No way. This is when we call for a superhero.
Just imagine you are in the exam hall. You're looking at an equation, the clock is ticking, and you just can't figure out how to split that middle term. The pressure is on. That's when you bring out your ultimate weapon, your secret power. This next formula is a true hero because it can solve any quadratic equation in the universe. I'm not kidding. And here he is, the one and only quadratic formula. It looks a bit big, but it's so easy to use. You just find out what a, b, and c are in your equation, you put them into this formula, and poof, it just gives you the answer. And you know what? We should be so proud of this formula because it was given to the whole world by a brilliant ancient Indian mathematician, Sri Acharya. Now, are you ready for a magic trick, a super secret exam tip? What if I told you you could know what kind of answer you're going to get before you even finish solving the equation? Yes, it is possible, using a special magical part of our hero formula.
This part right here, the bit under the square root sign, b squared minus 4ac. This is called the discriminant. The best way to remember it, think of it as a fortune teller. It looks deep into your equation and tells you the future. It predicts the nature of the roots you are about to find.
Now, this slide is super important for your exams, Bacho, so please focus. It's very simple. If the discriminant, fortune teller, gives you a positive number, you will get two different real answers. If it gives you exactly 0, you will get two real answers that are the same. And this is the best part, if it gives you a negative number, you can just stop. There are no real roots. It saves so much time.
Okay, your turn. Quick check. Here's an equation. 2x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Now, don't try to solve the whole thing. Just use your fortune teller. Just find the discriminant and tell me, will this equation have real roots? Go on, give it a quick try.
Okay, let's do it together. Here, a is 2, b is minus 4, and c is 3. So b squared minus 4ac is minus 4 squared minus 4 times 2 times 3. That gives us 16 minus 24, which is minus 8. And what did our rules say about a negative number? That's right. It means there are no real roots. We figured that out so fast. Simple, Hannah. Wow. We have covered so much so quickly. You've all been amazing. So before we finish, let's quickly go through a final exam checklist. These are the most important points from the whole chapter that you must remember.
So let's revise. A quadratic equation always looks like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and a cannot be 0. The answers we find are called roots. We can find these roots using our old friend factorization or by calling our superhero the quadratic formula. And finally, our little fortune teller, the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, tells us what kind of roots we're going to get. That's it. That's the whole chapter in a nutshell.
And we are done. See? It wasn't that scary, was it? When you break it down into simple steps, quadratic equations are actually very logical. You now have all the tools you need. You know the secrets. You are absolutely ready for your exam. You've got this. All the very best, Bacho. You are going to do great.